Hello guys. Nice leg. Hello everyone. If you guys are here, can say hi in the chat. Okay. Well, we're not starting yet, right? Let's just wait for the next... Whoops, pardon. We'll just wait for another 7 minutes before we begin. Okay, let me just read out who is here and has said hi. I see a no name. And Nana is here also. Who's that? Adelina? Emma, hello. Nayla, alright. Today is primary what level? Okay, today we're talking about, as you can see on the screen here, GEP round 1. So that will be for P3. Alright, I mean, if you're in P2 and you're interested about this for next year, you can stay as well, no worries. And can I do a face reveal? I have revealed. Do you see here? This is me, okay? That's a face reveal. And that's all you're gonna get. If you wanna see my actual face, you'll have to come to my class. All right, Yuri, you're in P4? Okay, then I guess for today's topic will not really pertain to you. Of course, you're welcome to stay if you'd like, but we're gonna be talking about GP round 1. So this will be mostly for P3 kids. Okay, and if you're in primary 6, this will definitely not be really necessary for you. But of course, you are welcome to stay. Okay, let's hang on a little while longer. What is GEP? Are you sure you don't know? Okay, GEP is the Gifted Education Program. So all P3 kids will be sitting for the test this year. All right, so I guess you can stay on and we'll learn a bit more about that. It's for primary 3 kids, all right? Okay, we will be starting in about 5 minutes. If you know anyone who will be interested in P3 this year, or any of your friends who are not here yet, you can call them along to join. Right, those of you asking for face review, it's right here on the front page. Hello, Singy. All right, we'll be starting real soon. I trust everyone has had dinner already. Do I teach Raffles Girls? I'm not currently teaching in the school. However, I am a previous student of Raffles Girls School. So if any of you are in RGS, well, I was in RGS secondary school. Okay, so if any of you are planning to go there, I will be your senior by many, many years. Okay, as I was saying, it's gonna be 8 really soon, so I hope everyone has had dinner. Okay, because we're gonna need enough energy and fuel, right? We're gonna be doing some math very soon. All right, if you guys have any questions before we start, go ahead to type in the chat. Thank you. All right, I'm glad you like my voice. Okay, please do share our live as well if you can think of any of your friends who would like to join. All right, now I'd like to do a little quick survey before we start, okay? Do we have any parents in the chat? Okay, those of you who are here for your kids, okay, you can go ahead and maybe give me a 1 in the chat. All right, any parents can come and say hi. All right, or if you are, oh, okay, I do see a parent. Any others? Okay, or any of you are P3 students at the moment? Okay, looks like you guys are a bit shy. Any of our Think Academy students? Okay, I guess I have some from different levels. So if you're a P3 student or a parent of a P3 kid, please let me know in the chat so I can roughly see who we've got. Okay, am I going to be doing exam papers or assessment books today? I will actually be going through some of the actual questions that came out in the GEP round 1 last year, and we'll run through some of our DMD questions that appeared in our GEP group, right? Okay, I see I've got students of all sorts of levels here. Okay, it is now 8 p.m. Let's hang on just a little bit more for any last minute people to arrive. Okay. In the meantime, let me just introduce once more those of you who just joined what we're going to be doing today. So it's one of the 1 month countdown to our GEP round 1, the screening round. So I'll be sharing a little bit more info on that. And here is my introduction to those of you who just came in. I am Teacher Nicole. Okay, so I did graduate from UCL with a master's degree. And my previous schools were Raffles Institution, RI, that was JC, and also RGS. So for my primary school, I was in Nanyang Primary School. So anyone from my schools can come say hi in the chat as well. So hello to all of my juniors. Okay, and maybe parents, some of our parents might be my seniors. So hello. Okay, so I was formerly a GP student in NYPS, so I have plenty of info and experience to share with everyone. So if anyone has any questions about the testing process or even just experience in the GP, feel free to let me know, okay? I will be going through some questions today, and at the end there will be Q&A session, of course. Okay, so please stay till the end. All right, and so without further ado, let's get started. So I'm sure many of you will be interested to know a little bit more about this GEP selection process. So just in case you are not very well informed on this, okay, let me just run through what is the process like. Okay, so the first screening exercise round, that's the first round, will be carried out on 17th August. So that's really very soon, in about a month, falling on a Thursday. So who will be participating, right? All P3 students that are enrolled in government and government-aided schools. And the topics that will be tested, that will be English and mathematics, all right? So these 2 papers. Okay, now that is the first round. Okay, and only those who pass this test, they will be invited to participate in the second round. That is the selection exercise, and the second round will be carried out in 17th and 18th October. Okay, so that's on Tuesday and Wednesday. And those will only be for shortlisted students, right, after the first round. Okay, so everybody gets to try the screening round, the first round, but only those who pass the first round will be invited to join the second round. All right, and in our second round, what will be tested, we'll have again two main papers. We've got English language, but this time there will be a general ability portion, and then we'll also have mathematics plus another general ability portion. Okay, so this is just a rough breakdown of the testing process. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, you can let me know later on. So far so good. So we're just going to be looking at the GEP math test portion today, okay, since I am a math teacher. So let's take a look at the test components, especially for GEP math. Now, I'm not sure if you guys can see it clearly, so can you guys let me know if it's big enough for you, or is it a little bit small? I feel like the size of this is a bit small. I hope everyone can see that clearly. Okay. So it's all good? Okay, all good. All right, so for our math components, first, this first stage that we are most concerned about at the moment, the screening round, the duration is usually around 1 hour and 15 minutes. Okay, so 75 minutes. It will have MCQ type of questions and also SAQ, meaning short answer questions, and roughly about 20 of each type. Okay. Of course, this number and even the duration does shift from year to year, so it's not always exactly the same, but it's roughly what we can expect. All right? Okay, so if we are really good and we get past the screening round and we go to the selection round, then we will have to do a math paper. This time around, it's a bit longer, quite a bit longer. It's 1 hour 50 minutes. Okay, once again, MCQ and SAQ question types and 24 of each type. Then we'll have our general ability portion, and that's 55 minutes. Okay. So once again, only MCQs and SAQs, all right? And for the general ability, roughly around 34-ish questions. Okay, so why is it SAQ? It's because the short answer, we do not need to do open-ended, like write a long statement. So for the GEP, they're only looking at your final answers, right? Technically, all the workings will not be included as part of your points, okay? So they're looking at your final answers here. So far so good. Any questions for me? All right, looks like it's all good so far. Okay, if you guys think of any questions along the way, you can keep that in mind and let me know later on. So this will be our main testing components. Now, of course, we'll be interested to know what will be tested, right? What is the syllabus? So here is the syllabus breakdown. Okay, and now this is a little bit small. Okay, I'm sorry, everybody. All right, so let me just read it out for everyone. So the kind of syllabus we're going to be testing on is based on our P1 to P3 topics, but it will be an extension of it, meaning the difficulty is definitely higher. Okay, sometimes the difficulty could be pegged at a P4 to 5 level. Okay, so it's definitely harder than what you'll see usually in school. And as you can see, we have some main topics to cover, main areas of study. We've got calculation. So this is a really long one over here. We've got word problems. Okay, we've got counting, logical reasoning, geometry, and number theory. All right, so for calculation and word problems, you can see there's loads of topics that fall under that. So that's definitely the one that's mainly going to be tested on, and we'll spend a lot of time on those. So you can see for calculation, for example, there will be fractions, comparison and replacement, multiplication tricks, grouping tricks, division with remainder, defining new operations. We've got some number sequences as well, like arithmetic sequence, geometric sequence, estimation, ratio, so on. All right, and for word problems, a bunch of them as well, like fractions again, sum, difference, and multiple. We've got remainder problems, chicken and rabbit, age problems, excess and shortage, interval problems, queuing problems, working backwards, and unitary word problems. Okay, so that's quite a lot to cover. All right, so for the others, there's not as many, okay, but still very important, such as of counting, like counting number of figures, there's permutation and combination, there's pigeonhole principle, and our Venn diagrams, right? Okay, and logical reasoning, for example, like number matrix, number puzzles, or cryptography, like ranking and order, some truth and lie question, and maximum and minimum values, all right? So for geometry, parameter and area should be quite familiar to everyone, and also things like symmetry. Okay, and number theory, we've got like place values or odd and even numbers and so on. Okay, of course, this is not all that could come out. There could be other topics as well that appear, but definitely these are the main ones that will be tested. So of course, if you guys have any other questions about this, you want me to go further into detail, you can let me know later on. All right, for now, let's move on. Okay, so as you can see, the time is really tight for the paper. There's a lot of questions to do in a short amount of time. So definitely, we'll have to get really familiar with this kind of questions, right? So time to do some questions, some actual questions. Ready, everybody? So we're gonna cover just, first of all, 2 of the real questions that did come out last year in the screening round, in round 1. An age problem and an excess and shortage problem. Ready? Okay, let's take a look at the age problem here, all right? So, if anyone has some paper on the side, you're free to try along together with me, okay? So for age problem, Lily here is 12 years older than Jane. So I'm just gonna underline the really important information. 12 years older than Jane. Now, 4 years later, Lily is twice as old as Jane. So the question is looking for what is Lily's current age? All right, so the most important thing to remember in age problems is that the age difference between 2 people will never change, right? For example, you versus your mom or your dad, your parents, or maybe you versus a friend, like the difference in your age will never change, okay? So, okay, any new people who have joined, we are currently running through the GEP screening round question that came out last year. So this is for P3, all right? Okay, so how do we do this? Okay, we can take a look at, first of all, the age difference. We know Lily is always going to be 12 years older than Jane, and 4 years later, she is twice as old as Jane, right? So let's first draw out a model for 4 years later, okay? And then we've got Lily, and we've got Jane. So Lily is going to be twice as old. I can draw 2 units for Lily, and of course, Jane is going to be 1 unit, right? And so everyone, could you guys tell me in the chat if you know what will be the value of this 1 unit, the difference between their age? Yeah, the question says Lily is 12 years older, right? And this is never going to change, so the difference between them here in this 1 unit is still going to be 12. All right, so this means Lily's age 4 years later is going to be 12 times 2, 24, correct? However, be careful, they are asking for Lily's current age. So current age will be younger, right? Because this is 4 years later, she will be 24. So right now, she is going to be 24 minus 4, that equals to 20. Okay? So age problem is a really popular topic because it's not the only question that was age problem in last year's screening round. I believe there were at least 2 questions on age related stuff, right? So this is definitely something we want to revise for. Okay, so good work everyone if you were following along. So far so good. So let's take a look at one more example. Here is an excess and shortage problem. So let's read the question together. We've got some baskets with 10 eggs each. Now, if John rearranges them into baskets of 9, he will need 1 more basket. Okay, and we're looking for how many eggs there were. So how do we solve that? Let's take a look. Okay, we're going to compare. We're shown 2 different ways of distributing the eggs, right? So let's compare. In the first scenario, we put 10 eggs in each basket. So 10, 10, all right, 10. All of them were 10 eggs in each basket, right? Of course, I don't know how many baskets there are, so I'm just going to put some dots in between, all right? I'm not sure how many there are. And we see that we can perfectly distribute all of those eggs. So we're left with none, right? We're left with 0, no eggs left over, okay? Now, if John rearranges the eggs to 9 in each basket, so this means instead of 10, we're going to have 9, 9, all right? Every basket now has 9. In this case, we will need 1 more basket to carry all the eggs. So what does that mean? We will actually have extra eggs left over, right? So extra eggs left over and we'll need one more basket of 9 to carry those. That means we have an excess, we're left over with another 9 eggs. Yeah? Okay, so let's compare the two scenarios now. So in every basket, we see that it minus away 1 egg, right? Minus 1. From 10, it became 9, right? And then where did all these eggs go? You can see that the number of eggs left over from 0, it became extra 9. So we added 9. Okay, so if we remove 1 egg from every basket, we can get 9 extra eggs. So I believe from now on it's quite intuitive. How do we get the number of baskets? Okay, we know that we get the extra 9. So 9 minus away 0, we have an extra 9 here. And we actually took away 1 from every basket, right? So of course, to find the number of baskets, we'll divide 9 divided by 1. That equals to 9 baskets. All right, now don't stop there. They're looking for how many eggs. So the number of eggs, we could use either distribution scenario to help us find the answer. So if every basket I get 10 eggs inside, I will not have any left over. So that gives me 90 perfectly. Or you can also check your answer by doing, I put 9 eggs in each of the 9 baskets, but I will have an extra 9 left over. So I do need to plus another 9. And you can see 81 plus 9 is still 90. So there we go. The final answer here is 90. All right, everyone. So just a little taste, okay, of our screening round questions. All right, so now that we've covered 2 of the actual questions that came out, you can see that we have pretty high difficulty in the question, and we've got loads of topics, right, that could be tested. So the key thing here will be to practice. All right, and where could we find practice? So this is actually pretty hard to find because, you know, all these questions, they're technically not really disclosed. So we're trying our best here to look for similar questions. So you can see over here, we have a course ready to prepare everyone for this, okay? And it's ongoing at the moment, and you can see actually this Sunday, we're going to be starting on age problems already. So we've actually already done lessons 1 and 2, okay? So this Sunday, we'll be starting on age problems, followed by excess and shortage. So the 2 topics that I just covered for everybody. So those of you who are looking for more practice or you don't know how to solve these questions, come to the class, all right? Now, we also got some more practice materials for everyone. So as you can see, book A over here. Okay, 100 questions that we must prepare for GEP. And not just that, we also have a book B, another 100 questions. So loads of practice for everyone to get really familiar with the methods here, okay? So book A, book B will be available, or is already available right now. So guys who are interested, go ahead to our TikTok shop and purchase them, all right? So it's on your bottom left, you can take a look at our TikTok shop. All right, so please go ahead to purchase if you're interested. Plus, if you do buy our GEP book A or B, or you can buy both, of course, you are entitled to a free trial lesson in this course. Okay, so I welcome everyone to buy, and I will be waiting for you guys. I will see you guys in class. It is for P3 kids, okay? I am not Mrs. Harry Styles. I'm Teacher Nicole, all right? And I hope to see those of you interested to join the class. So go ahead to our TikTok shop to get the book, and then you can come for a free trial lesson, all right? So not to worry, even though the first 2 lessons are already completed, you will still be able to receive the materials for the lessons you have missed, okay? Alrighty. Yes, there will be answers behind in the book, okay? Or not behind in the book, but you will be provided with the answers, okay? We'll send them in a separate booklet to you, but definitely answers provided. All right? So just one more time here, we have book A and also book B. All right, so loads of questions. And furthermore, it's not just math inside, okay? We also have English practice, because as you know, GEP, we need to test on both English and math. All right, so there is English practice as well. You can see here, English, okay? And also we've got math in the front. All right, so that will be definitely loads of practice to get you ready for the screening round and also for the selection round. All right. Okay, so that's enough about books. Is there one with just math? Actually, it's all mixed, okay? It's all mixed. Okay. All right. This will be ending around 8:45-ish, okay? Okay, so let's carry on, and I'm sure many of you are here to actually listen to me go through our DMD questions, okay? So our Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday DMD questions. So let's quickly run through them. All right, our first one here is on fractions. Okay, and let's read the first question together. Sally bought 4/5 kg of macaroni, and she used 1/4 kg of it to cook for her packed lunch, and she gave some of the remainder to her sister. Now, in the end, she had 1/5 kg of the macaroni left. So how much did she give to her sister? So we can see the fractions here. 4/5 kg, 1/4 kg, 1/5 kg. Right, so what happens when we have fractions of different denominators? We can't really add or minus yet, right? We've got to change them to the same denominator. So let's start changing. So 4/5, okay, and 1/4, the denominator is 5 and 4. What kind of common denominator can we choose? Can anyone let me know in the chat if you know? Okay, what kind of common denominator? 5 and 4, right? We want to change this to something over 20. Very good. Yes, that's correct. 20. Okay, so 4/5 will be what over 20? If the bottom times 4, the top times 4 also, that will be 16/20. All right, and then 1/4 will be equal to what over 20? 1/4, we will times 5, and then the other one times 5, on top times 5 also, so that will be 5/20. Okay, and last of all, 1/5 kg. So again, I want to change this to something over 20. Okay, and what do I have? 1/5 will be what over 20? That will be 4, right? 4/20. Okay, so now that we've changed all to the common denominator, very good job. Thanks for sharing the answers. So let's take a look. How do we combine that together? So she originally bought 16/20 kg of macaroni. She used up 5/20 kg of it for her lunch. She had 1/5, which means 4/20 kg of it left. So what was the remainder that she gave to her sister? We just minus away. 16 minus 5 minus 4. Okay, what's 16 minus 5 minus 4? Okay, so 16 minus 5 is going to be 11, right? 11 minus 4 is going to be 7. So the final answer, yes, is going to be 7/20 kilograms. All right, and there we have the final answer. Okay, so this one is still pretty basic. It's just knowing how to change into a common denominator. Alrighty, so let's take a look at our fractions word problems number 2. Now, this question says 2/5 of Alan's money is the same as half of Ben's money. And we know Alan had $192 more than Ben. So what is the total amount of money they both had all together? Okay, so when we have this kind of question where we're equating something to something else, it's always good to draw some models. So let's draw out first Alan and Ben, these two people. Okay, 2/5 of Alan's money. So this means Alan actually has 5 units, right? Let's draw out 5 units for Alan first. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I'm doing my best to make them equal size. So 2 units of Alan's money is the same as half of Ben's money. So this means 2 of these units is equals to 1 unit of Ben, and Ben has 2 of these units. So I will extend and draw the other half of Ben. All right, all good, everyone? Okay, and we also know Alan had $192 more than Ben, so this difference here is going to be 192. What is the total amount of money, right? We're looking at all together. So first of all, if I draw more dotted lines down, I could actually split Ben here into smaller units to match Alan's unit size. So how many units do we see in total? Okay, we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 units. So knowing that 1 unit is 192, we can find out 9 units. Okay, speed calculation, everybody. What is 192 times 9? Okay, anyone's worked it out? Okie dokes, let's quickly do our vertical multiplication here. All right, 9 times 2, 18, 9 times 9, 81, carry over, that's 9 plus 8, 17. Okay, all right, very good. Some of you got the answers as well. Well done. All right, that gives us 1,728. Good work. All okay so far? Yep, okay, so that was our second question. Let's now run through question number 3 from the DMD. Okay, Clara had 4 black shirts and 8 white shirts. Okay, after she threw away some white shirts, the number of black shirts was 2/3 of the remaining shirts. Okay, how many white shirts were thrown away? So we do know the number of black shirts did not change, right? It did not change. So that means in the end, the number of black still stayed the same. And it was 2/3 of the remaining. So the number of black would have been 2 out of 3 units, right? So black has 2 units. And that means in total, there would be 3 units left. This is in the end, right? After throwing away. Okay, and we know that there were how many black shirts? Okay, there were 4 black shirts. Okay, so this is quite straightforward. Since 2 units here is 4, obviously for white shirts left, there was 1 unit. Okay, so that will be 4 divided by 2 equals to 2. And since there were 2 white shirts in the end, how many did we start with? We started with 8. So how many did we throw away? Super simple, right? 8 minus 2, ta-da, equals to 6. All right, so there will be 6 white shirts that were thrown away. That is our answer. So that concludes our fraction word problems. Okay, let's go on to our age problems. So very popular topic in the GEP, all right? So over here, shall we take a look at the first one? Heidi is 8 years old this year and Dad is 50 years old this year. Okay, how many years later will Dad's age be 4 times that of Heidi's age? So remember the key in age problems, right? Age difference will never change between 2 people. So can everyone quickly tell me what is the age difference between Heidi and her dad? Okay, the age difference between the 2 of them. That's right, Amos. Sophia, well done. E, good job. All right, a bunch of different answers coming in. Thank you very much. That will be 42 indeed. Okay, well done, everyone. That is 42. And remember, this will never ever change, okay? It could be like 50 years later and it's still gonna be 42. Okay, so how many years later will Dad's age be 4 times of Heidi's age? So let's draw out that model, Dad versus Heidi. Dad will be 4 units, right? Because that is 4 times. And Heidi will be just 1 single unit. And do we know that the value of this difference, which is these 3 units? Yes, we already counted, right? We've calculated the difference is 42. So since 3 units is 42, quick, everybody, what's 1 unit? That's, oh, any answers? Right, if 3 units is 42, then 1 unit is going to be 14. Good, thanks, Sophia. Okay, all right, so this is going to be some number of years later, right? So how many years later is that? We know that Heidi, in the future, this is 14, but she is only 8 years old now. So 14 minus 8, that will be 6 years later. All right, so answer here will be 6. Alrighty. Okay, that was question number 1 for age problems. Let's move on to our next 2 here. Okay, read question again. We've got May, all right? When May is 7 years old, her neighbor Kenny tells her that when you are 10 years old, The sum of the ages of my younger brother and I will be 3 times that of your age. Okay, we also know Kenny is 2 years older than his younger brother. So we want to find out how much older is Kenny versus May this year. Okay, so when May is 7 years old, Kenny is talking to her about when she is 10. So that will be 3 years later, right? 10 minus 7 equals to 3. So that is 3 years later. Then Kenny and his brother's sum, the sum of their ages will be 3 times that of May. So what is their sum? Okay, their sum will be clearly 3 times 10. Yeah, 30. We are also given information about the difference between Kenny and his younger brother. Okay, the difference between their age, as we see here, is 2. Right, if I know sum and I know difference, can I find Kenny and his brother's ages? Yeah, it will be our usual sum and difference. Okay, so let me speed draw a sum and difference model. We've got Kenny and his younger brother. Kenny is 2 years older. So I know there's this part that's sticking out and this is 2 years older. Okay, and the sum is 30. So if I want to find Kenny's age, what do I have to do? I will have to actually add on, right? Add on an imaginary 2 to make the 2 of them the same. And this will become 32. Okay, then I have to divide by 2. So 32 divided by 2 equals to 16. So this means Kenny is 16 over here. All right, 16 over here. However, this is his age 3 years later. Okay, so how do we find the difference between them? Okay, so if I want to find a difference between them, I need to minus away May's age, okay, 3 years later, and she is actually 10, right? So 16 minus 10, their difference will be 6 years. They are 6 years apart. Okie dokes. Okay, finally, we are going to take a look at the last question for this age problem topic. All right, so question number 3. When I was your age, you were only 4 years old. Okay, I will be 79 years old by the time you reach my present age, a father says to his daughter. So how old are they now? Okay, this is where we're going to have to draw an age line to visualize. Okay, so imagine the ages fall along this line, okay? We can write out over here that this is, okay, the daughter's current age, the daughter now, and some number of years older, we're not sure by how much, that is the father's age now, right? Okay, so when the father was the daughter's age, that means father long time ago, then she would actually be 4. Okay, so let's write this part as 4. So remember, this difference between them, it stays exactly the same, right? Remember, age difference never changes. Okay, now when the daughter becomes her father's age now, that means daughter in the future, then the father will be 79. And once again, the difference between them stays exactly the same. So everyone, can you tell me how many units do you see here? 1, 2, and 3. Right? 3 units, okay? And do we know the value here? The difference between 79 and 4, right? So 3 units will be 79 minus 4, which is 75. So speed calculation again, what is 1 unit? Okay. Yep, those of you who just joined, this is for P3. We are preparing for GEP at the moment. All right, so 1 unit, 75 divided by 3, everybody, equals to 25, okay? 25. So we know the difference between their ages is 25. How do we work out the age of the father and the daughter now? So for the daughter now, we could do 4 plus 25, so she'll be 29. For the father, he will be another 25 years older than that. Okay, so 29 plus 25, that gives us how much? Everyone calculated 29 plus another 25, that is 54. Correct? Anyone got that? And we found the answer. Okay, awesome. All good so far? Now, if anyone has any questions, feel free to let me know. Okay, those of you who just joined, we are currently going through the DMD questions for our GEP prep. We are done with Tuesday and Wednesday, and we are going to go on to our Thursday questions. So, those of you who are interested to try out more of such questions, okay, quick segue into this again, all right? These questions all came from our GEP practice booklets. So, from book A and from our book B, okay? So if you want more of such practice that will be really useful to help preparing for GEP, please head on over to our TikTok shop, okay, waiting for you to buy these books, all right? Okay, so, once more, let's go ahead to our Thursday DMD. This is for P3, all right, note, P3. Okay, excess and shortage. Shall we take a look at the first question together? Now, a group of cowboys are transporting some cows. All the cows will be transported if each of them transports 6 cows each. Okay, so if I have every one of them transporting 6, okay, I don't know how many people there are, but 6, 6, 6 for everyone. There will be none left, right? Because they transported all, so left with 0. However, if each of them transports just 4, okay, there will be 70 cows left. So we're actually having an excess of 70. So let's compare the two scenarios. Each cowboy actually transported 2 fewer cows, right? 2 fewer cows. And where did all these 2 cows go to? It went to the remainder left over, right? From none left over, they now have an extra excess of 70. Okay, so if every cowboy gave away those 2 cows to make the extra 70, how many cowboys would that be? Okay, the cowboys would be 70 divided by 2, right? We'll have 35 cowboys. Then, of course, the question is looking for a number of cows. So we could find the cows either by doing 35 cowboys, every one of them carries 6 and there are none left over. Or we could do 35 cowboys. If everyone carries 4, we will be left with 70. So we need to plus 70. Okay, so calculation. How do we work that out? Anyone's found the answer? Okay, 35 times 6. Okay, this should give us 210. Okay, 210. Right, very good, Sophia. And of course, you can double check your answer. 35 times 4 plus 70 will also give us 210. All right, so that confirms the answer is 210. Okay, righty, let's take a look at question number 2. Very similar working method here. So, Rahala got some stalks of flowers for her friends. If she gave 8 to each friend, she will have 6 left over. However, if she gave 6 to each friend, she will have 12 left over. Once again, we're going to write out the scenarios here. So 8 for each friend, then she's left with an extra 6. If she gives 6 to each friend, she'll be left with an extra 12. Right? So as you can see, each friend received 2 fewer flowers. Where did all these 2 flowers go to? To the leftover portion, right? So from leftover extra 6, she is now got extra 12, so that increased by 6. Okay, so every friend received 2 fewer, and then she got her extra 6. So how many friends did she have? We can work out by again dividing. 6 divided by 2, she is giving away to 3 friends, all right? And the question is looking for how many flowers. So we could either find it by doing each friend got 8 flowers and she has extra 6, or each friend has 6 flowers and then she will have extra 12. And they should both give you the same number. Okay, what do we have here? 3 times 8 plus 6 or 3 times 6 plus 12. It should both give us what? Right, it should both give us 30. That's right. Thank you, Melanie. That is correct. 30. Okay? Good Good. Well done. All right, good job, Sylvia. Alrighty, so that is done. Let's take a look at the last question there for excess and shortage. So, let's do that together. We'll read this question. It's slightly trickier. So if 6 students are sharing a hostel room in an international school, there will be 2 empty rooms. If 4 students are sharing a hostel room instead, there will be a shortage of 3 rooms. All right. We want to find out how many students, how many rooms, right? Now, in this case, the students will be acting as our items. All right, because they're the ones being distributed into the rooms. Okay, so let's write out if I have 6 students in each room. Okay, I know that there will be 2 empty rooms. That means our last 2 rooms will actually have 0 people inside. Okay, not 6, but 0. All right. Then if I have 4 students sharing each room instead, okay, every room will be filled. In fact, I will be short of 3 rooms. So if every room is supposed to fill 4, but I'm short of 3 rooms, that means I'll have some extra students left over outside of the room, right? And how many students will be left over? Okay, I will actually have left over, there will be 3 rooms, we're short 3 rooms, right? So we'll be left over with an extra 12 students. Okay, so every room should have 4 students, so we are short of 3 rooms. That means we have an extra 12 students outside. And in our first scenario, if we have 2 rooms that were empty, but we're supposed to have 6 inside, then we'll actually be short. Okay, short of some students to fill up all those rooms, right? We're short of 2 times 6 equals to 12 students. All right. So how did this change? You can see that every room actually has 2 fewer students, correct? 2 fewer students. So how do I work out the answer? Where did all these 2 students go? Okay, we want to work out what is the difference between this portion, right? I'm short of 12 versus I have an excess of 12. So do I do 12 minus 12 equals 0? All right, be careful over here. I have one situation where it's excess, extra, I have plus 12, right? And the other scenario is I have short of 12 students, so I'm missing 12. That's like a negative 12. So what is the difference between 12 and minus 12? It's gonna be 24, right? Okay, so the number of rooms that we have will be 24 divided by 2. We've got our 12 rooms. Okay, so 12 rooms. And how many students do we have? So we can do either every room has 6 students, but we'll have short of 12 students, so we minus 12. Or we can do every room has 4 students, but we have an extra 12 students. Okay, so we plus 12. So whichever way we work that out, that will give us how many? Okay, that should give us 60, all right? Okay, pause for a question. How can we finish the paper in a given time? Okay, that's a good question. I'm actually coming to that point right now, okay? Because we're done going through all of the DMD questions. Now will be something everyone's concerned about, right? What are the common problems we'll face trying to finish so many questions in a short amount of time? Okay, so time management is really important. Okay, how do I make sure I finish? So that means before you even start the paper, you must watch the time, calculate how much time do you have in total, how many questions do you have to finish, and make sure to calculate an average, okay, an average first of every question. Okay, so maybe let's say you have 50 questions and you're only given 75 minutes, right, to finish. This means every question, on average, how long do you have? You only have 1.5 minutes. Okay, so make sure you calculate that at the start of the paper so it gives yourself an idea how much you should be doing, okay, in a certain amount of time. And then you can adjust your speed as you go, right? If you are running out of time, you see, oh, already 15 minutes passed, but you have not done the correct number of questions, then you need to rush, right? You need to hurry up a little bit. Okay, so a good way to practice time management is to do it even with your normal homework. So please do not drag when you do homework, all right? So even when you're doing your normal homework, please watch the time and give yourself a time limit, okay? Don't take forever, like hours and hours to do your homework. So it's best to set a time limit, sit down properly, and just do it in one go, okay? I would also advise everyone to actually try and simulate exam conditions. So try to give yourself more practice papers, mock tests to imagine you're in this exam scenario, okay? There is time limit, you can't drag, you can't do past the time. All right, there's also another issue of carelessness. I think a lot of questions you might be able to do, but you make a lot of careless mistakes. So how do we avoid that? All right, so as you're doing homework usually, do remember to keep your environment with no distractions, okay? Focus now and then you can get your reward later. And I would suggest as well that you check your error, okay? So it's always good to label out your steps. You know what you're doing so that you don't write and then you get confused what you're calculating. So label out your workings, check your calculation at every step, right? And a good way to check will be to work backwards. All right, for example, if you have a division, okay, you can work backwards by doing multiplication and check, do you get the original number? Because if you don't, that means somewhere it went wrong, right? So make sure to check every step, all right? And also make sure to read the question carefully. As you see that I've done here, you see that I've actually, underlined, for example, underlined like this, our keywords. So make sure to underline or highlight keywords along the way. You can also circle out and make very clear what is the question looking for. Because sometimes you just calculate and you think you've got the answer, but you're not answering what the question wants. Okay, so make sure you're answering the question. All right, and of course, we want to also identify the correct method to solve the questions. Whoops, am I hanging? Everyone, are we lagging? Okay, everybody, can you give me a sign if everything is working fine on your side? Yes or no? Okay, because it looks like I'm hanging over here on my side. Oh, it's fine. Okay, it's fine for you guys. Then that will be good. Great. Okay, so let's continue. So how do we identify the right method? Now, this is something that we'll need to do with a lot of practice, right? You need a lot of exposure to similar questions. So when you read the question, you already know, oh, what is the topic? What kind of method should I be using? All right. So this is something we can really only do by building up with lots of practice, which is why once again, I'm telling everyone that we need to prepare for that. Okay. You can't wait till the last minute, one day before the exam, and then you're trying to rush. So make sure to build up slowly to your practice. Okay, and we have offers for everyone here, lots of resources. So those of you who joined later on and didn't catch, okay, we've got our GEP book A, 100 questions here, plus another 100 questions in our book B, okay? And this is a combination of English and math questions because both will be tested in GEP. You have to be good at both, all right, in order to get to our second round. So go on over to our TikTok shop, bottom left corner, to purchase that. And remember, all those of you who buy book A or B or both, okay, you are entitled to one free trial lesson in our course that is currently ongoing, okay? So go ahead and purchase that if you're interested. And those of you who are interested in also more materials, you can join our Telegram chat. Link is in the bio. So we will actually send out free materials pretty regularly for your consistent practice. I would also encourage everyone to WhatsApp us for more info about the course or any questions you have, any burning questions you have, you can let me know as well. All right, so you can just message us over here at this number. Okay, let me just circle that out. Here we go. This is the number, everyone. All clear? Can see clearly? Okay, so that is 8:46. I'm pretty on time. That's great. So we are done with our live stream today, actually. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Thank you everyone for your time. Okay, question time now, everyone. You are free to type in the chat, okay, if you have any questions. Those of you who have no questions, bye-bye, good night. Okay, I'll just hang on a little while more if I have any questions. Okay, no questions? Okay. you guys can ask me anything you want, maybe about the GEP testing process or any of the materials I've shared, or any questions you've got. If you do not know how to do a question in the exam, what do? You've got to ask your teacher, all right? Is nets of cube question important? TNF, okay, thanks for your question. I would say that it's not a big part. There may be one or two. So it will be good to know. Okay, so if you want to find more practice on nets of cubes, there's probably plenty available online, or I actually recommend everyone to do a bit of hands-on, right? Draw some nets and try and figure out, or just observe some dice and you can figure out some of the rules of the nets of cubes yourself. Okay, if you are too shy to ask the school teacher, okay, I think Mrs. Harry Styles will be back on a regular program sometime, so you could let her know, because today our focus is on this GEP, right? So a P3 GEP. Okay, any more questions, everyone? Feel free to ask me. All right. Okay, let me hold for another 15 seconds. Countdown, all right? How to not panic. Okay, not panicking comes from being properly prepared, right? So if you are properly prepared, you are less likely to panic. So I do suggest to work up to it. Make sure you're not rushing to prepare right before the exam. So do a little bit every day consistently and you'll feel much more confident, okay? What is the percentage? Oh, that's a great question. Okay, so let me bring us back to our first page where we're talking about the screening round and the selection round. Okay, so for the screening round, this is stage 1, right? For stage 1, it's a 10% pass rate. Okay, and then out of the 10% here that passed, it's another 10% of that. So in the end, if we're looking at the whole cohort, that will be a final 1% that gets into the GEP program. Okay, so this is our chance of getting in. Okay, so a rough gauge will be to look at your kids or your friends, the cohort you have, how well you're doing in the cohort. For your P3 kid, do you have to let her study all the lessons from P1 and 2? Okay, thank you, Nicole, for your question. And yes, I would suggest to revise, because the topics will come out from all 3 levels, P1 to 3, of course, much harder than what you might see in school. So it's always good to revise the basics. If you are a Think Academy student and you've been following us for lessons from P1 to 2 up to 3, I would say that especially for P2, it's very important to review from P2 onwards. Okay, so P2 and P3 topics in particular will be very important. All right? Okay, so those of you who will be sitting for the GEP test in about a month or so, you could chill. It's not too bad. I mean, there's nothing that's going to happen really if you get in or not, because either way, in the end, everybody has to sit for the major one, PSLE, at P6. So no matter whether you get in or not, it's just part of your primary school experience. So nothing too major to panic about. All right, any other questions? Okay, if you still have questions, let me go back to our contact page. You are always free to message us, WhatsApp us. Okay, and we'll be happy to answer any questions you have about, GEP or about our course. And don't forget to get your GEP book A and B from our TikTok shop, all right? Last call. Oh yeah, I did forget to mention. The supply is limited, especially for book A, okay? We only have last 10 copies, so please go grab it before it's all gone. Will there be percentage? It's not likely to appear, okay? Because percentage is something that the kids will only learn as a topic in P5, so they're not exposed to it at all. So likely not, all right? Out of 40 marks, what is the passing mark? So TNF, for this question, actually we are not ever disclosed how they determine the passing mark. So it might not be a clear passing mark. It might go by a bell curve. So it depends on the performance of the cohort in that particular year. All right. We don't know. We just roughly know it's the top 10%. And in the end, it will be the top 1%. All right. So a good way will be to look at the performance of your cohort on average. Okay. Yeah, happy to answer your questions. Anything else? Okay, so I'm hoping to see loads of you in my lesson come this Sunday. All right. And you'll be able to see my face in class. All right. Thanks, everyone. Good night. Okay. Anything else? No. Okay. Going once. Going twice. Okay. The end. Thanks, everyone, for your time. Bye-bye. I'll see you in class.